IDPs in Benghazi, Libya. I will take you through the story of Tawerghan, a city that has become a symbol of forced displacement in Libya. Okay. Yep. So here we're going to have an idea of what's ahead. We have this paradox. As mentioned, we are following the paradox method. The first paradox mentioning Tawerghan before and during the Libyan revolution. Second, we're gonna see how Tawerghans lived during the displacement. And we will finalize with the proposed intervention. So Tawerghan is a Libyan city in the southeast of the city of Misrata, as shown in the map. And this close proximity to the city of Misrata is central to understand the events that followed that I will explain in the next slide. Before the Libyan revolution in 2011, Tawerghan was home to around 40,000 residents. And historically, Tawerghan is known for its agriculture and specifically for date palms and for artisanal culture. And the name itself of Tawerghan, it means the green land, reflecting its green and fertile character. So here we start with the revolution that started in February of 2011. From March till May, Tawerghan was used as a base for the pro-Gaddafi forces' attacks on the city of Misrata. Then after that ended, Tawerghans were accused of participating in war crimes, which led to massive displacement and collective punishment of the residents. As of August 2011, the whole population were forced to flee, and overnight an entire city became empty. The years that followed, militias of Misrata took over the city. So after that, the Tawerghan became the ghost city, literally the ghost city. 90% of homes were destroyed. Essential infrastructure such as the water and electricity networks were destroyed. Schools, water networks, hospitals, government buildings were totally damaged, making the city uninhabitable. So what did happen after that? Where did Tawerghan go? Tawerghan were scattered across Libya. This data is as of 2022. The majority were still displaced across Libya. 44% are in the west, mainly in Tripoli. 22% of them were in Benghazi. Still, some of them are there, mainly in the east, mainly in Benghazi. And at that time, around 1/3 returned to Tawerghan, around 26%. In Benghazi, Tawerghan were and still living in informal shelters and camps, such as the Salam, Kweifia, Garyonis, and El Hilais. Some of them are living in abandoned schools and in rented apartments where they have high risk of eviction because some of them they do not have the ability to pay. And even during their displacement in Benghazi, they were affected by conflict, such as the war that happened in Benghazi between 2014 till 2016, where one of the biggest camps, which is Garyonis camps, was hit, and around 400 families were forced to flee again. And of course, most of these shelters, they lack the basic necessities of water, electricity, sanitation, and durable shelter material. Despite all of these challenges and hardships, Tawerghans maintained their culture and preserved it through showing their traditional clothes, food, and even the handcrafts, which is the making of hasir shown in the picture, despite all of what happened to them during all of these years. In Benghazi, they adapted through different economic activities, mainly home-based food businesses such as catering for events. They were preparing the date syrup, and also they were baking the tannour bread, which has become a ritual of Ramadan in Benghazi to buy this tannour bread. And all of these choices are not random choices, as this reflects Tawerghan's identity and history. They are known for date palms, they are known for agriculture, for food production. So all of these economic activities reflect their own identity. However, as we know, the situation in displacement is not ideal. They faced challenges, and often the environment where they're producing the food was not safe. They were posing health and safety risk on themselves while producing it. So now, after a decade of displacement, over a decade of displacement, many Tawerghan are still displaced till this moment, and there are different barriers for their return. The main ones, based on a survey done by IOM, is that the damaged houses and homes, damaged infrastructure, lack of opportunities, and also some of them do not feel secure enough to come back. And some families simply cannot afford to come back to their city. In 2018, however, there was a reconciliation agreement that was signed between the two cities. However, not all families managed to return, and this is because of many issues with the agreement. The agreement was not inclusive. Only the members who agreed on the terms of the agreement were allowed to return. Many families were still feeling unsafe to return because the agreement did not guarantee their safety. Finally, there was no compensation for the families, and as we know, most of the homes were destroyed, so they need this compensation. Between 2018, when the agreement was signed, until 2023, only around 15,000 Tawerghan returned to Tawergha, which is less than half of the population. Of these 15,000, 65% of them are living in heavily damaged or destroyed homes. This means that the return is actually real, however, it is far from complete. Now there are new developments are occurring. A new agreement is being negotiated with a stronger role for the civil society. International and local partners are working on the reintegration, providing opportunities for the people in order to encourage them to come back. All of this with the purpose to provide a return process that is safe, dignified, and voluntary. We see here some signs of recovery. Roads and homes are being repaired, and the famous factory in Tawergha for the date syrup, Al Jawhara factory, is now reopening after 15 years of closing. These are small yet meaningful steps that show that the return is real and it is actually near. So now we move to the last part of this presentation, which is the intervention. We saw how displacement reshaped lives. Now we ask ourselves, how do we support dignity now, but also prepare for rebuilding tomorrow? First, we need to state that the ultimate goal is for Tawerghans to return to their city. However, return is slow due to the mentioned reason. So integration in Benghazi is necessary and it is a realistic temporary solution for now. This is through Sana, which is the Arabic word for a craft or a skill, and reflects the purpose of the project that focuses on transferable skills that we will equip Tawerghan IDPs in Benghazi with them in order to have a dignified life in Benghazi and help them to rebuild their city later on when they return. And these are not just tools for survival, they're actually tools for rebuilding. And I need to state that Sana is not a replacement for the return, it actually prepares the communities for it. In Sana, our goal is to fill urgent livelihood gaps in Tawergha, and 3 main sectors were identified by livelihood assessment done by UNDP in Tawergha. The main ones are education, healthcare, and economy. Today, due to the time limit, we're going to focus on economy. 4 sets of skills are the focus of Sana. We're going to provide Tawerghans with skills in business management, marketing, customer service, and hydroponic farming. And these skills were chosen based on Tawerghan themselves, where in the report they mentioned these as training needs that they want in order to help them to reintegrate in their city. So they will learn how to start, sustain, and advertise for a business, how to deal with customers. They will have some skills in hydroponic farming, and they will learn how, about basic language skills and even digital literacy. And hydroponic farming is an efficient type of farming that also can be used in urban settings such as Benghazi, and it has been piloted and proven to be successful in Tawergha. So all in general, Sana is not just about technical training, it's about restoring livelihoods, but most importantly, it's about restoring agency and purpose of Tawerghans. Thank you.
Thank you, Hadil. Well done within 8 minutes.